Hi guys, this is Anderson from NWOTHM Metal Full Albums, and it's good to be back here with another Metal Mailbox episode. This one is a special video focused on Heaven and Hell Records, as you can see for the t-shirt. They are an American label run by Jeremy Golden and Gary Shafer, and they are specialized in reissuing albums by old school metal bands from the 80s, early 90s, but they also release new stuff. I never thought when I began in this channel, because it's focused on newer bands of old school heavy metal, that my biggest support would come from labels specializing in reissues, but it's been so the last few months with Cult Metal Classics, Lost Realm Records, now Heaven and Hell Records, and it's coming in the future by Arcane Steel from Greece. So thank you so much to all these labels for releasing these albums that people, metal fans who like them, cannot buy anywhere, and also for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. But let's go for the material that I got from Heaven and Hell Records, because it's a lot, and I will talk a little bit about every one of them. And the first one is the one I liked the most, and it's Wisdom Through the Looking Glass. It's originally recorded in 1987, and it also includes one EP from 89 called The Voice of Rebellion. This band is from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they play a hard rocking heavy metal the way that I like it. And if you want to know more about Wisdom, there's a link for one of the songs on the description. You can find links to all of the CDs that I present here. Then you can also check them on Heaven and Hell Records Bandcamp. The next one is Ladykiller. Is a self-titled album, originally recorded in 82 and released in 83. It includes 5 demo songs with another singer, which was supposed to be their second album. And they are from New York City. They have that raw feel that you can notice in some bands from New York at the time, late 70s, early 80s, that's when they began. So Ladykiller, self-titled. We have 2 releases by the same band. The first one is this one is Servos. It's Too Late to Pray. They are a band from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I think that this is near where the label is based, because Heaven and Hell Records has a lot of bands from that area. And it was originally released in 86, and it also includes Like a Banshee on the Loose EP from 87, and it also contains 1 track recorded in 85, so before this album. And I also have this one. It's called From Beyond the Vault Door, and it contains archives and collection of previously unreleased tracks. They also have another album from Servos on their catalog. It's called Regression, Progression, and Something More. It's an EP from 91, but I didn't get this one. And the next one is Cruella, Vengeance is Mine. It's originally released in 1989. They are from Portland, Oregon. And they also reissued another album by this band called Shock the World. And I know Cruella, of course, but I also have another connection with them because my friend Gene Harris from the band Silent Storm, which is featured on the channel, a new band of old school heavy metal, he sang in this band, not on these albums of course, but he sang recently on this band. Next one is Dagger, Deep Cuts 89 to 99, and they are from Baltimore, Maryland. It includes material from the demo Dream Stealer from 89, and the debut album by High Bridge, a band that was formed by most of the members in Dagger. This album is called The Gift and was released in '99. So you have a demo from Dagger called Dream Stealer from '89 and an album by High Bridge formed by members of Dagger called The Gift, and also some bonus tracks. And we have here Gangscan. It's not the Gangscan who would become Tokyo Blade, but it's the American Gangscan from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And you have here, the name of the album here is The Awakening and The Passage. And this is the names of the two demos we have here. The Awakening from '86 and The Passage from '89. So Gangscan, The Awakening and The Passage. Next one is Desire, Cry at the Sky. They are from Cincinnati, Ohio, or it is Kentucky. And it was originally released in '83. And it's for fans of Y&T, Riot during the era of Rock City, Narita. So if you like this kind of hard rocking heavy metal, it's a good one for you. Desire, Cry at the Sky. And they also released, Heaven and Hell Records also released another album from Desire called Screamer on the Rocks, which is the first long lost and previously unreleased version of this album with their first singer. From Leeds, New York, you have Monolith. It's thrash metal, and this album features the demo Digital Black from '91 and the Among the Masses EP from '93. So it's thrash metal, early '90s, Monolith from New York. And the next one is an album that was released last year. It's by a new project captained by Robert Williams from Ignitor and Witchmark. And it features big names of the Texan metal scene. It's called Texas Metal Outlaws and is a self-titled album. You have here names like James Rivera, Larry Barragan from Hellstar, Jason McMaster from Watchtower, Donovan Stavern from Riot and S.A. Slayer, and Ross the Boss, Manowar, and Mike Solis from Militia, and many more. So Texas Metal Outlaws. I'm going to ask Gary if I'm allowed to put this on the channel, because it's a nice lineup of metal musicians from the Texan metal scene, and I know that many of you really like the Texan metal scene bands like the ones that I brought here. And we even had the Texas Metal Legion on Keep It True Festival, which features many of the names that I said here. So Texas Metal Outlaws. The next one will be a nice addition to the channel as well, and it's Dogbane, Idols of Woe. And Dogbane is an American band formed in 2010, and this is their third full length. I have seen this before on Bandcamp, and I was always interested in having them on the channel, but I never have been approached by Heaven and Hell Records, and I also never approached them to ask about the possibility, but now I will, because I know they support me. Next one is Salvacion, Keep Up the Fire. And I know this album since it was released only digitally in 2016, and I had it on my videos to post, but I never did, because sometime in the past, I changed the way that I posted things and decided to only go for things that I have direct authorization or permission by bands and labels. It's the right thing to do. And this one got lost on the mix, but now I have the CD. It's a different artwork from what I knew from digital release, but it's good that it's available for in a physical format for those who like it. So it's Salvation, Keep Up the Fire, available on CD for the first time. The next one is Millennion, Supply and Demand, and this is neither the British new wave of British heavy metal Millennion or the 90s melodic heavy metal from Florida. This is Millennium from Halleck, North Carolina, and this CD contains the Supply and Demand album from 91. It was recorded but never released before this. And as a bonus, you get the Wake Up Call EP from 89. So Millennium, Supply and Demand. The next one is a band with a very different name, and I'm talking about White Boy and the Average Rat Band. They were formed in 1979 and released their first album in the year following. And according to Heaven and Hell Records Bandcamp, this is their first album in 39 years. But on Metal Archives, they have one album called White Boy and the Average Rat Band 2 from 2012, if I'm not mistaken. But it says it was released only as a CDR, so I don't know if they count this as an official release. And I noticed that many of the songs featured there are here, so maybe it's only I don't know. So, but if you want to check this band, check their first album. It's also released by Heaven and Hell Records, and you can find it on their Bandcamp. But also check the new one, Love My Ride. The next one, and this cover is, let me show you. If I only glanced at this cover in a store, I would never think it's a heavy metal, hard rock release. But if you look at the details, you can see the irony between the name of the band, Shake the Fate, and the artwork, as you can see here. Yeah, okay. So this is what many people would call hair metal, and I don't know about you, but I like most of the bands that fall under that umbrella. And this CD features the 1990 demo from Shake the Fate, and also a 91-92 demo by Shaky Jane. It's a band formed by members of Shake the Fate and Saint Jane when they merged into only one band. So if you like hair metal, you may want to check Shake the Fate. The next one is Harbinger from New York, and it's called The Inevitable. This CD is a reissue from the 1991 album, like I said, titled Inevitable, and it also contains 2 unreleased bonus tracks. If you don't listen to the album and just look at the booklet and read the lyrics, you can see that this is for fans of Queensryche and Fate's Warning, and when you put the CD on, you have the confirmation. So if you like those bands, check Harbinger, The Inevitable. It's getting near to the end. We have 2 to go, and this one is Assassin, License to Kill. It's not the German Assassin, but it's the US band from a suburb of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is a reissue of the 85 album License to Kill, with 3 additional bonus tracks. So if you, like me, just knew about the German Assassin, it's time for you to check the American Assassin. And the last one is another newer band from Heaven and Hell Records. Formed in 2000, Eugenic Death plays thrash metal with just a hint of death metal on the vocals. This is their second full length called Under the Knife, and it was released this year. And you can find this album on the New Wave of Old School Thrash Metal channel. Is one of the channels that I consider to be like a brother to my channel, because we focus in 2 different subgenres of heavy metal, but they are kind of related to each other, because if you like traditional heavy metal, you probably like thrash metal. So you can find the full album there. But I also leave a link to one of their songs from the Heaven and Hell Records channel on the description. You can check there. So guys, these were the things that I got from Heaven and Hell Records. And if you are a label, either if you release like Heaven and Hell, Cult Metal Classics, Lost Realm Records, if you release albums by obscure heavy metal bands from the 80s, or if you are a new wave of traditional heavy metal label, and if you want to send some things for the metal mailbox, you can just reach me via email, it's on the description, or through the New Wave Traditional Heavy Metal Full Albums page on Facebook. And for the people who support me on Patreon, the Patreon link is on the description if you'd like to join them and support the channel. I didn't post any new episode of the podcast because the computer that I use to record and to edit the episodes, it's gone. It's not working, it's not turning on, and I tried everything I know to fix it, and it's not going. I still think I can save the files, but I need to transfer to another computer, and the MacBook that I use, it's also to post videos on the channel, it's also near his last breaths, so I will need to sort out another thing for myself. I have one episode ready to go with Manos Koufakis from Cult Metal Classics, but I can't access the files. And I also thinking on changing the way that the podcast is done. Instead of having only 1 hour of interview, I would have also an interview, but only the highlights of what we talked about, and a playlist of songs chosen by the guest of that episode. For example, for Manos Koufakis episode, we would have a selection of songs by Cult Metal Classics. So I hope to get this new version of the podcast going, so you don't feel like you are supporting and donating money for nothing. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys a very good week. Probably next video I will be in another house because we are moving, so if you don't see many posts on the channel lately, it's because of that. Thank you so much. Bye bye.